I was being hunted, and I pushed through these doors, and a Marine was there, and he protected me. He offered me a chance to
So you do know what it means.
Zoe Saldaña is at it again, and this time she's pitching ideas that could make even the most jaded TV fan sit up and take notice. As we wait, somewhat impatiently, for news about Lioness Season 3, Saldaña has given fans something new to chew on, a prequel idea that's as intriguing as it is ambitious. Let me break it down for you, because this isn't just another Hollywood pitch, it's the kind of idea that could reshape how we see the characters we've grown to love, or love to question. Saldaña recently chatted with Deadline about her upcoming projects, including, yes, the next Avatar sequel. But when the conversation shifted to Lioness, she dropped a bombshell. She floated the idea of a prequel focused on her character, Jo, and how Jo crossed paths with Nicole Kidman's Caitlin. Think Yellowstone 1923, but for Lioness. Here's what she said. I would have loved to see the beginnings of the Caitlin Mead and Jo McNamara and how she was recruited, because she's just so good. It made me wonder how Caitlin found Jo and how Caitlin recruited Jo. It would be really interesting. Interesting? That's putting it mildly. This could be gold. We're talking about exploring the gritty backstory of how two powerhouses like Jo and Caitlin became the team we see in the present. Saldaña even referenced a standout scene where Byron Westfield tells Jo, "You can't be in the field anymore, I can't replace you." That scene alone felt like a door to a story we haven't fully explored yet. Now, let's talk logistics. A prequel means fresh faces for younger versions of Jo and Caitlin, but it also opens the door for Saldaña and Kidman to flex their producing muscles, maybe even pop in for cameos. And for fans worried about Season 3, let's not jump off the cliff just yet. The odds are looking pretty good. Lioness was one of 3 Taylor Sheridan shows to land on Nielsen's streaming charts recently. That's no small feat, especially for a platform like Paramount Plus, which doesn't have the same reach as Netflix or Prime Video. Add to that Saldaña's earlier comments about being signed on for 3 seasons, and Season 3 feels more like a when than an if. But back to the prequel, because honestly, it deserves its own spotlight. There's a lot to unpack in the dynamic between Jo and Caitlin. How does a hardened operative like Jo come to trust someone like Caitlin? What decisions shaped their paths before we ever met them in Season 1? The prequel could also dive into Jo's early struggles, her drive, and what made her the powerhouse we know. Of course, there's also room to have a bit of fun with the casting. Who could possibly capture the essence of Jo and Caitlin in their younger years? The casting team would have their work cut out for them, but the payoff could be massive. For now, all we can do is wait. Whether it's Season 3 or a prequel, Lioness continues to be a fascinating series. And with Zoe Saldaña leading the charge, you know we're in for something special. Besides Jo being the charisma of the show, there's another Lioness whom we shouldn't forget. When Season 2 dropped, I was hooked from the start. And let me tell you, it wasn't just because of the action. It was Genesis Rodriguez as Captain Josefina Josie Carrillo who stole the show. This character is a masterpiece of complexity. On one hand, she's a decorated U.S. Army Black Hawk pilot with 4 tours in Afghanistan under her belt. On the other, she's the niece of Alvaro Carrillo, a cartel leader. Josie's mission in this season is wild. She's recruited into Zoe Saldaña's elite CIA program led by Jo McNamara. The goal? Root out a secret Chinese agent causing chaos within Mexico's Ministry of State. While her uncle isn't the target, his cartel will definitely feel the heat. It's personal, professional, and oh so dangerous. This is the kind of tension Taylor Sheridan thrives on, and Genesis Rodriguez embodies every bit of it. Zoe Saldaña herself couldn't stop gushing about working with Genesis. According to Saldaña, Rodriguez brought her A-game to every intense scene. She even called watching Rodriguez wonderful, especially as she unleashed the layers of Josie's character. Josie isn't just a soldier, she's a woman constantly wrestling with her moral code, loyalty to her country, and a mission that demands everything from her. Now here's where it gets even more intense. To join the mission, Josie sacrifices her military career. A staged disaster and dishonorable discharge become her cover story. That's right, she goes undercover in her uncle's cartel as a pilot. Her job? Gain their trust, infiltrate the operation, and help the CIA sniff out the Chinese mole. It's a high-stakes chess game, and Josie is the queen. What drives her? Genesis Rodriguez explained it perfectly. Josie thrives on routine and control. She's the kind of person who feels alive checking off tasks like 100 push-ups or inspecting her helicopter's rotor. Flying a Black Hawk is her happy place where she feels powerful and in charge. But now she's stepping into a world where trust is a currency and one wrong move could cost her everything. Rodriguez's background shines through in this role. From telenovelas like Dame Chocolate to big-name projects like the Umbrella Academy, she's built a career on versatility. And in Lioness, she proves she's a force to be reckoned with. She doesn't just play Josie, she is Josie, making us feel every conflict, every decision, and every sacrifice. On the other hand, Cruz is at a pivotal point in her journey, and let me tell you, this is not the Cruz we met before. She's undergone a transformation. Call it a metamorphosis. The kind of growth that leaves you wondering if you're even looking at the same person. After taking some well-deserved time off, she's being deployed off the coast of Somalia. That's no vacation spot, but it's exactly where she needs to be. Why? Because Cruz is trying to piece together the giant puzzle of geopolitics she's caught in. She's a patriot through and through, and her country remains her ultimate love. Joe's perspective on Cruz is intriguing. She says Cruz will always put the mission above all else because the mission is worthy and executing it will save lives. Is that true? Well, it's easy to label that line as manipulation, but I think Cruz genuinely believes it. For her, the mission isn't just orders, it's purpose. This belief is what makes Cruz such a compelling figure. She's emotional but efficient, conflicted but resolute. And as the season unfolds, her relationship with Joe will only get more layered. They're like two sides of the same coin, but the shine is different. Joe hasn't been a lioness for a while. Cruz is still fresh from the fight. That contrast is going to stir the pot. What's fascinating this time around is that Cruz isn't as easily swayed by Joe's tactics. It's as if she's finally seeing the bigger picture, but Joe seems to be more honest with Cruz than anyone else. Why? Well, maybe it's because Cruz reminds Joe of herself. The similarities between them are undeniable, and as Cruz starts to see it, the dynamic shifts. Of course, Joe's honesty comes with strings attached. She's laid it all out. Cruz might have to kill a fellow lioness. That's enough to rattle anyone. But Cruz is the kind of person who gets the job done no matter the cost. Cruz's backstory is riddled with heartbreak and hardship. She's fought hard to break free from her family's self-destructive cycle, and she believes she has. That's why she's so committed to the mission. It's bigger than her. She's sacrificed everything for her country, even her chance at personal happiness. Her selflessness is what makes her so compelling, but it's also what puts her in constant conflict with herself. Now, here's where it gets personal. Cruz could have walked away. She had a choice: become a police officer or stay in the program. Joe's forceful push to bring her back revealed one thing: Cruz believes in the mission. Deep down, she knows this is where she belongs. It's her purpose, and she's not ready to let it go. Her journey is far from over, and Taylor Sheridan has the reins. Where Cruz ends up is anyone's guess. And let me just say, working with Zoe Saldaña is a dream. She's not just a powerhouse, she's a giver. She's generous in every scene, more focused on the story than her own spotlight. That kind of chemistry is what you see on screen. It's real and it's magical. If you're as hyped as we are about Lioness Season 3 and Zoe Saldaña's game-changing prequel pitch, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. What twist or backstory are you hoping to see? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest updates. The Lioness saga is just heating up, and you'll want to be here for every second of it. We'll see you in the next one.